Introducing Bizdata's Vendor Onboarding Portal, designed to simplify the vendor registration process. This system allows vendors to easily input their details through an intuitive form, which then undergoes a two-tiered workflow process. The uniqueness of this solution lies in its ability to significantly reduce manual effort and simplify the entire onboarding process by defining clear workflow statuses and automating much of the data handling. In this video we will demonstrate how vendor data is ingested into NetSuite using eZintegrations. This process showcases the integration capabilities, ensuring that vendor information is accurately and efficiently transferred into the NetSuite system. The process commences with the vendor's onboarding, during which they are required to complete a form by providing details such as their name, their DBA that is doing business as name, and address. While selecting the country, if the vendor is based in the United States, they must enter a 9-digit routing number when providing their banking details. For vendors located outside the United States, a payment type option will be provided under the banking details section of the form. Subsequently, vendors must enter additional details, including the contact name, email address, vendor remittance email, and contact number. The next step involves uploading the W9 or W8 BEN form. A sample form is provided for reference. Next, enter the TIN, that is taxpayer identification number, and proceed to add the bank details. First, specify the payment terms. Next, select the routing number from the drop-down menu. If the routing number is not available in the drop-down menu, click on the Add button, add a new routing number along with the bank name, as demonstrated in the video. Next, re-enter the saved routing number. The bank name will be automatically populated. Then proceed with the next steps. Next, enter the bank name, bank account name, account number, and type of account. Upload the bank verification file. Then add the currency and tax classification. In the final step of the onboarding form, add the details of the Bizdata's contact, including their name and contact email. Finally, submit the form. Upon successful submission, the form will be available for a two-tier workflow involving review by a supervisor, manager, or any other authorized personnel within the organization. Now that the form is submitted, the accounts payable supervisor will review it before forwarding it to the authorized manager for final approval. In this first step, the supervisor is logging in and has the authority to submit, reject, or cancel the form based on the requirements. The forms submitted by the vendors will be visible under the Pending Vendors section. As we can see, the recently submitted form is now visible here. The supervisor can open the form and verify all the details provided by the vendor. The vendor can furnish the finance group activity details, including vendor type, organization type, and category. After providing these details, they can proceed to assign the status in the workflow. For the vendor form, the supervisor has verified all the documents and assigned a status of submit. While doing so, they must also add relevant comments to support their decision. After submission, the form will move to the final manager for approval. Similarly, the supervisor can view other pending forms and assign the relevant status. For the current form, the supervisor is rejecting it and adding relevant comments to explain the decision. The rejected form can be seen under the rejected section and the vendor will be notified, and then they can take actions based on the relevant comments. For the other pending form, the supervisor is currently viewing and verifying the details. They are canceling the form and adding relevant comments to justify their decision. The cancelled form will be visible under the Cancelled Vendor section. Once the form is cancelled, the vendor will be notified and can refill the form based on the comments provided. The form now moves to the final level of approval. In the final stage, the authorized manager takes the final call on completion of the approval. They are required to log in to view the forms. The finance manager can view the form submitted by the supervisor in the Submitted Vendors section. The finance manager can review the form in the Submitted section, verify its details, and assign the appropriate status. In this instance, the manager is approving the form and adding relevant comments. The approved vendors will be visible in the Approved Vendors section, and the vendor will be officially on board. The manager can also reject or cancel the vendor. In either case, the vendor will be notified accordingly. Here, we can see that the vendor approved by manager is John Doe. All of John Doe's details are visible on the screen in the form he submitted. The vendor information will get integrated into NetSuite using the eZintegrations. This is the eZintegrations platform providing a comprehensive view of all configured data bridges. We currently have 2 active bridges, one for transmitting vendor data to NetSuite named Vendor Creation in NetSuite, and another named Vendor PDF File Creation, for routing W-9 forms and bank verification forms uploaded by vendors to the corresponding vendor profiles within NetSuite. Additionally, the platform allows for the configuration of multiple targets using eZintegrations, enabling tailored data flow to meet diverse business needs. Demonstrating the configuration of the bridges. Within the data operations, transformations are applied as can be seen in the video under Data Operations section, where multiple operations are applied to transform data as per requirement, and the processed data is then ingested into the target system. A similar process is followed for ingesting uploaded forms into the relevant vendor profiles within the integration service. Now, we will verify in NetSuite to ensure that the data has been successfully ingested. This is the NetSuite interface, where the vendor details for John Doe are clearly displayed. All relevant information provided by the vendor is now accurately reflected within the system. All the other fields are accurately reflected in their appropriate places within the system. Here, we can see that the files W-9 form and bank verification form attached during the form submission process have been successfully ingested into the designated area within the target system. This demonstrates how data can be effortlessly ingested into NetSuite using eZintegrations, ensuring a hassle-free process.